Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Reciting Hatov V'hamaitiv on a second cup of wine brought out to the table. The Gemara says that when you have a cup of wine brought out, a new and additional wine brought out to the table, for you and for others, you say Hatov V'hamaitiv. But you hardly ever see anyone say this. And that's because when it comes down to halacha l'masa, very, very complicated, to the point that some folks can just say, forget about it. There's no way going to fulfill all the conditions. Others say, no, it's not so unrealistic. And there's a range. Each person should talk to his posek about this. Basically, the Shulchan Aruch makes it clear that it cannot be, you have a wine that you start off the meal with, and it can't be that you just ran out of this wine, so you bring another one. No, you still have the first wine, and you bring a new one out. Riboyayin, have more wine. And it's a sign of luxury that, wow, thank you, Hashem. That wine's a nice item to begin with, and I have an additional bottle. And I didn't even finish the first one. So what are the conditions when we say Hatov V'hamaitiv? Thank you, Hashem. So the conditions are, it wasn't there when you made the bracha the first time. You brought it out. So it's riboyayin, increasing the wine. When you said boy pigaf and you had in mind any wine that you brought out. The Mishnah Berurah does say that according to Lachem Hamudos, if the wine was anywhere in your house, it's as if it's in front of you. So if you hold by that opinion, that pretty much limits you ever saying the bracha. But others don't hold that way. Even the Mishnah Berurah Hay does seem to have a different opinion on that. So many say, no, if it's not on the table, even if it's in your closet, another place in the fridge, in the kitchen, and you bring out additional wine, and you and a friend or other people in the family drank from the first wine together. Some say it should be revius from the first wine, and now you're going to drink from the additional wine. And the wine is better than the first, or certainly not known to be any worse. So if you have all these conditions, namely that you and your friend both drank from the first one, friend or family member, and then a new one is brought out, the new one that's brought out is certainly no worse, either the same or above, but you don't know it to be any worse, and you're going to be drinking from this one as well, together, excuse me, in such a case, many poskim say those are the conditions for Hatov V'hamaitiv. As I said, there are those poskim that say that's it. Piskei Teshuva says, there's so many conditions, best just to avoid the bracha. But the Sefer Zosa bracha, a very authoritative book on bracha, says if you have the conditions that we just mentioned, that would be enough to say Hatov V'hamaitiv on the second bottle of wine that's brought out in the meal for you, your friends and family to drink. Everyone can have a part of it. Then you would be able to go ahead and say Hatov V'hamaitiv. And Allah everyone should talk to the posting about what to do. Shalom.